Hi guys, welcome back to vlog number 3 here at English at Wendy's. So if you are an English student that wants to pass one of these exams, I guarantee that you're going to want to stick around. Today, we're going to explore an art gallery. Now, I know what you're thinking, but we're in the middle of a pandemic. You shouldn't be going to an art gallery. Don't worry, I'm not. I mean, honestly, I wish that I could because I think that would be like way more fun, but we're gonna have to take the next best thing, which is a virtual art gallery. Now, La Petite Galerie at the Louvre has a current exhibition called Founding Myths from Hercules to Darth Vader. And it is all about heroes and telling stories, and it literally has art dating back to ancient times to current expressions of heroes like Darth Vader, if you think he's a hero. I mean, I kind of don't, but that's just my opinion. First, let's learn some vocabulary related to the visual arts. Now, as you're probably very familiar, we have many different types of visual arts in the world. And we're not going to focus on all of them because that would just be like super overwhelming. So we're only going to focus on the ones that we will see in this gallery today, right? And I'm just going to show you some photos. And if I were you, teacher note, I would pause the video after every word and practice the pronunciation. The first vocabulary word we have is a landscape painting, a portrait, a statue, a sculpture, pottery, an exhibition. Again, an exhibition. Now, an exhibition is literally just a public display of art. You can have an exhibition that is focused on one specific artist, or you can have an exhibition that's focused on one type of theme or one type of art, like abstract art. Today's exhibition will be focused on heroes and the stories we tell about heroes. And the next word is an artifact. Right, so the T here is really soft. Artifact. An artifact is literally an object that has historical significance, right? So this is a really common word that we use when we talk about ancient art, for example, ancient artifacts. And the last is a really informal word, and it's a piece, right? So it's a piece of art. For example, if I'm walking through a museum and I see a painting that I really like, I can say, oh my God, I love that piece. So before we actually walk through this exhibition together, I want to let you know that I'm going to be using all of the vocabulary and phrases that we've learned in this video as we walk through this exhibition, right? I'm going to offer my own commentary on what we're seeing, and I encourage you to listen to what I have to say, then pause the video and give your own commentary to what you're seeing, right? Challenge yourself to use the vocabulary and phrases that you've learned. Okay, so to start off the museum tour, I'm going to use this map here to navigate us through the rooms, just because it'll be easier to get around. But in this first room, I immediately notice that this is a room full of artifacts. I get the impression that these are weapons, or some of these are weapons. Like this guy back here, he kind of looks like an axe, although this is definitely a vase. It's maybe ancient Roman, ancient Greek, ancient pottery. Not really sure which empire it came from. But yeah, I mean, Nothing here is my cup of tea. I would probably skip right past this room if I'm being honest. So let's see what else we have. Okay, so first of all, not about the art, but this room is really beautiful. The color is super fantastic. But immediately I see this, what is definitely ancient Egyptian art. And it looks like a piece of wood, a piece of painted wood. I believe this is the sun god Ra. I'm not sure who this woman is, but maybe she's I don't know, maybe she's a witch doctor. I don't know if that's a proper term to use for ancient Egypt, but it could be depicting some kind of ritual. I mean, this piece of wood is super well preserved. The colors are really beautiful. But what else do we have? So over here, all right, so this gallery is all about heroes and myths. So this painting, I believe, could be depicting a sorceress, which is a female witch, basically, because this looks like a wand to me. This looks like a spell book. Maybe she, could be in the middle of some kind of spell, some kind of ritual. But it's a beautiful painting. I mean, yeah, beautiful colors, super well preserved. Also would probably skip right past this. I mean, these definitely would catch my attention because they just create a feeling of wealth for me. I mean, I would imagine myself, living in ancient times, and this is how I carried my water. That's pretty regal if you ask me. I get the impression that these could be the same. I'm not sure what these are called, but they could be the same ones as the ones in the painting. Although I actually don't think so, because this looks like some kind of man with a beard, and I don't see that. Or actually, I see it here, but these are definitely crabs, and I don't see them here. So maybe they're just inspirations of each other. All right, let's see what else we have. Okay, all right, so here we have some porcelain plates. And, comparatively, they're pretty different from each other, but they all seem to have a similar theme in common, which is feathers. This here definitely looks like it's hand painted, just because if you look closely, you can see the details, sort of out of the lines, but beautiful nonetheless. I actually really love porcelain plates, especially when they are hand painted. I think it's such a treasure to have. Even modern porcelain plates, I love. All right. Okay, so I'm actually familiar with this painting. It's Earth, and I believe it depicts the book of Genesis, so the story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. I'm not usually a fan of religious paintings, just because here in Poland there are a lot of museums that dedicate themselves to religion, from all parts of history. And in my opinion, there are only so many times that you can really admire a painting of Mary Magdalene or Jesus Christ. It kind of just gets super repetitive, but the Garden of Eden is a beautiful story to depict in terms of, just the abundance and the life forms that existed. But, I mean, these are definitely animals. These look like animals. But back here, this appears to be, I believe, Adam and Eve and God. And I'm making the assumption just because there's 3 figures there. But yeah, I mean, this painting for me creates a feeling of calm, serenity, unity, coexistence. It's a really beautiful painting. All right. Nothing here that I'm super excited about, so I'm just gonna move on. Okay, so immediately I notice this here, this statue here, and I could call this a statue or a sculpture. So a statue is just a, life-size form of a human, and I'm not sure who these people are, but I get the impression that this man, he kind of looks like he's about to backhand this man. Maybe they're lovers, maybe they're brothers, I don't know. But I also get the impression that the artist was very familiar with the male body. I mean, you can see here, these are, this art depicts literally every muscle in the male body. More than I've seen. But yeah, that's beautifully sculpted and beautifully preserved as well. Okay, so what else do we have? This looks like a sombrero with a cat on top. I am not sure what that is. Okay, so let's go to our map. What do we have over here? All right, so back here we have more vases, more sculptures, Not super interested in that painting. Oh, a lot of stuff is blurred out. I don't know if it's like the Louvre doesn't have the rights to show you this, or I don't know what's going on there. But here, okay. So I actually know this statue, and it's connected to an English idiom, and it's a really cool story. But this is the fall of it's either Icarus or Icarus. Should probably know that. But this is the story of how we got the idiom, don't fly too close to the sun. So this dude, in ancient times, basically his dad built him wings made out of feathers and wax. And his dad warned him not to fly too close to the sun and not to fly too close to the water, because these two forces could seriously damage his wings. And he didn't listen, and he decided to fly high up into the sky, right next to the sun. And lo and behold, the sun melted his wings, and the story goes that he tumbled out of the sky and fell into the water and drowned. And so this is where we get the idiom, don't fly too close to the sun, which basically just means like know your limits. Don't go past what you're able to do, because usually the consequences are not positive. So there's a little history for you. But this is definitely a marble sculpture. I mean, I love it. It creates a feeling of, this is supposed to be depicting his death. So when he fell to the water and drowned. But for me, it also creates a feeling of like leisure, because it kind of also looks like he's, looks as if he's laying back and just chilling. But yeah, I mostly just really love this sculpture because of the story behind it. All right. Okay. So this painting too is quite well known. So this painting, I believe, is inspired by John Milton's Paradise Lost. And this dude right here definitely appears to be the devil, because this is the painting of the capital of hell. and I can't remember the name right now. There should be a name here somewhere, but the Pandemonium. Yeah, the Pandemonium. So this is the capital of hell in the Paradise Lost, and this definitely appears to be the devil. I mean, look at his horns and his spear and his shield. And, you know, this appears to be lava. Definitely his kingdom in the background. They seem to be in maybe some like mountains, lava mountains, not sure what you'd call that. But this feeling, this painting, I believe, is supposed to create a feeling of power, creates a, you know, feeling of dread and devastation. I mean, you just like all the blackness here, all the smoke coming out, you know, the fact that there's like no sky. Yeah, I also like paintings that depict hell. I find those to be interesting interpretations as well. And let's see what we have here. Okay, so this is definitely Darth Vader. That's obvious. It's kind of funny that they blurred it out, but you know, Disney probably didn't give them the rights. But this is Darth Vader because, again, this is supposed to be a gallery about heroes and the stories we tell about heroes and myths, monsters, demons, etc. So, you know, is Darth Vader a hero? Is he a villain? I don't know. Just kidding, he's a villain. But, yeah, I mean, this back here is super chaotic. I mean, this is, I mean, we've only been in this gallery for like 13 minutes, but I think that this is the first really abstract painting we've seen compared to the others. This one is, you know, very chaotic, nonsensical. That appears to be a nun. This seems to be a priest. Yeah, I don't even know what is beginning to happen here. So much. I mean, these look like aliens. I'm not sure. Just maybe it's, I don't even know what it could be depicting. I mean, it creates a feeling of total chaos for me, total nonsense. Maybe it's stories of people we perceive to be heroes in the world. I'm just taking that because we have a priest, I believe to be a priest or a saint, and a nun. So, you know, maybe it's just the chaos of who we interpret as heroes in our society. Kind of deep, you guys. All right, so I actually think that is it for, yeah, I believe that's it for our art tour. All right, guys, so that brings us to the end of our virtual tour together. Now, I hope that you learned some really useful vocabulary and phrases to talk about art, to comment on what you see, right? If you're taking one of these difficult language exams, this is super useful to use because this is a part of the speaking portion of the exam. All right. And in these exams, especially if you're trying to test into the C1 or C2 level, this is the kind of language that they're looking for. They want to hear sophisticated phrases. They want to hear you give your opinion, your impression, what you think something is, right? This is all about guessing and just creating conversation. So if you guys like this video, please remember to like and subscribe. I encourage you that the next time art galleries open, take a friend and, you know, comment on what you see and use this vocabulary. Or if you don't have that opportunity, in the comments below or in the description below, I'm gonna add links to other really amazing virtual tours that you can explore on your own. I know it sounds super silly, guys, but the best way that you're going to gain fluency is to practice, right? And I know that not everyone has the opportunity to practice English face to face or even have someone else to practice with, but I promise you that you can practice on your own and go through a tour by yourself and comment on what you see. Pretend like you have an audience. Who cares, right? You're just practicing. So thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, share this video with a friend, and I'll see you next time.